Hi, I'm David Carlin. I lead risk programming at the United Nations Environment Programme's Finance Initiative, or UNEP FI. We work with financial institutions all across the world to support them in accelerating their sustainability goals and helping them to manage their environmental risks. First impressions of ClimateX came from a conversation that Lucky, the co-founder, and I had at the Climate Financial Risk Forum, which is the UK's regulatory and private sector meeting to explore various risk-related topics in the field. I was really struck and impressed both by his thoughtfulness as well as by the approach that was being taken at ClimateX when it came to measuring and ultimately giving institutions the tools for addressing the climate risks that they face. This is, of course, a really complex and complicated topic, so it's important to bring the right level of thoughtfulness to it, while at the same time making the results and outputs actionable and understandable for users. Climate change is a challenge that we as a society, and certainly we as a financial system, haven't yet dealt with. And as a result of that, we need innovation and we need new approaches. And we need to be looking at data in different ways. What's exciting about any of the newer entrants and growing companies in the space like ClimateX is the ability to begin to reassess and also to take some of the new approaches and bring together elements of data, models that are going to be both scientifically valid as well as ones that are decision useful, and really bring that to the ultimate end user. One of the things that I also particularly like has been the ability of ClimateX to continue to iterate and think about not just the overall, but also being able to drill down to the asset level, being able to get specific. And I think that that ultimately is what decision makers are most interested in. So I think one of the biggest ways that institutions can get ahead of regulatory changes is to stop seeing sustainability and sustainability reporting as the same. Reporting really is about the activities that you are undertaking. Reporting may motivate you to do some of those activities, but fundamentally sustainability is something that needs to be in the DNA of companies and needs to be in the decisions that they make. And so those that are going to put together the most effective reports, those that are going to meet the evolving and rising regulatory demands, are going to be those that are willing to integrate these pieces of information into their decision making. And that's something that I think is really key, that this can't be a check the box exercise, but rather one that needs to be transformative. And in the conversations I've had with leadership at ClimateX, I see that as very deep-seated in their beliefs as well. I think it's really important when I work with institutions to share values, and one of my biggest values is accelerating change, especially on climate. And I think that in the work that I've done as a convener at the United Nations, and work I've done as a researcher and an advisor, it has really all been in the focus and the desire to bring about that positive change, to move us toward a more sustainable path. And I think looking at how to do that really demands scalable solutions, and I see the same interest and ethos in being change makers, both in how ClimateX works with its clients, but also in the innovation it brings, the interest in the science, the willingness to explore and revise and iterate, and to really say that impact is going to be one of the key measures of success here. I'm really excited to be working with ClimateX, especially in helping them to understand the emerging regulations and think about how to connect impact with those regulations. At the same time, one of the most fun things about getting to work with data is thinking about how that data can make an impact and going beyond just those regulations into business intelligence, into helping to make better predictions and better decisions. And so I'm excited to both be in the technical weeds and thinking about the so what's for the financial actors who will be using this information in order to drive better decisions on their part.